Hello and welcome to this video. On this video I'm going to be changing out the mass airflow sensor on my 2011 Nissan Xterra with an improved version. It's Nissan part number 22680-7S00A, and the suffix A is what has changed. It used to be a 7S000. The reason I'm changing it out is I have a code, a P0103 error, and that means as soon as you turn the ignition on, you get an overvoltage coming out of the mass airflow sensor, and that's before you even start the car, so there's no airflow at that point. Now, Nissan's had a lot of problems with this. There was technical service bulletins issued. Last year I took the truck to the dealer to get the technical service bulletin to reprogram the ECU software, and they charged me like a couple $100, even though it's supposed to be warranty. So I got that done, didn't take care of the problem, so there's another TSB that says to install this new improved mass airflow sensor. So that's what we're going to do here in just a second. So I'm going to show you the first thing to do is to disconnect the battery. You'll need a 10mm wrench. Also, to get the sensor loose, you'll need an ISO type screwdriver, and you'll want to get a voltmeter so you can check the grounding of the sensor to make sure all that's okay. So I'll be right back. All right, so I have my 10mm wrench. Here's the negative terminal of the battery. So I'm going to hold this down while I loosen the nut. And you always want to make sure that you're very careful when working around the battery. You should always wear safety glasses. So these only get snugged up, by the way. They shouldn't be super tight, because if you have a good battery and clean terminals, it should be okay. So I'm going to take it loose like that and set it aside. And that'll allow the ECU to reset all the trim factors, but it'll also allow me to work safely to replace the sensor. So I'm going to show you the sensor next. Okay, I'm going to take the sensor loose now. So here's the air box and the plenum piece that feeds over to, in my case, the supercharger. To get this harness loose, you just push down and unclip it. Take it loose like that. And then there's two screws you're going to have to take out. So I needed a shorty screwdriver since I have this reservoir here. So I'm going to take these loose, and you want to carefully pull the sensor straight out without hitting it on anything. And you also want to notate the position it's in. It should be keyed, so that shouldn't be a problem when you put the new one in. Okay, I have the screws out, and this sensor, I can pull it straight out this way like this, slip it over to the side, and you'll notice the metal part is facing up and it's keyed. And if you look at the part number, it's stamped on here, and this is the old version, and the new one that, per the technical service bulletin, should correct this problem. Should slide right in like that. And then, now I'm going to put the screws in and snug it up. So I'm going to get that done, and then we'll go ahead and do an ohm check on the cable here and make sure it's okay. Okay, I have my voltmeter here, and I have it on the ohms setting, and I have the negative lead going to the engine itself. There's a grounding point on the engine, and then I have the positive lead going over to the third from the left hole. There's a blank, and then there's 5 wires, and the black wire is supposed to be ground, and it is. It's reading 0.2 ohms to 0.3 ohms. That's pretty much normal. And the last thing I'm going to do is check the continuity over to where the battery negative terminal comes off. Not the battery itself, but where the wiring connects to the battery. I actually still have the battery disconnected at this point. I just want to make sure that that ground is the same as the engine ground and everything looks good. So I'm going to get that checked out, and I'll come back. I'm now doing a continuity check between where this battery cable hooks to the battery. Again, it's off the battery right now, and over to the ground on the harness, and everything looks good. It comes out about 0.2 ohms. So I'm ready to go ahead and re-plug in the harness, and then I'm going to go ahead and reconnect the battery, and then I'm going to start it up and see what happens. And there is a special method to reset the ECU. You let it come up to temperature, let it idle for 30 seconds, take it for a 5-minute drive at 25 miles an hour or more, and then come back and put it in park and let it idle for 30 seconds. And that should clear any long-term codes out of the ECU. or you may have to use your code reader or a computer to do that as well. So I'm going to get that done, and then we'll test it out. Okay, I have everything hooked back up. I have the harness plugged back in. I have the battery connected. So now I'm going to go ahead and start the vehicle, and we'll see if she works. Okay, after it's warmed up, I'm going to go ahead and run it through this cycle that I mentioned earlier, and I'll come back and then I'll commentate when the video is uploaded whether or not this worked or not. So thanks for watching.